Hey, welcome back to Bobby Fitzgerald Golf. Thanks for stopping by again. This is a lot of fun. Um, Today, we're going to be working on the alignment situation. And, a lot without knowing your proper alignment, you go out there, your knees could be pointed slightly different than your feet. Your shoulders could be way off because, they're to your side. When you look up like this, sometimes your shoulders turn and you think, oh, that's not bad. And you're aimed way right. And, that's actually a fairly normal thing that happens because you don't have, I have an alignment station fixed up here for us. And this is a very good thing to do because when you're doing it correctly and you know you're doing it correctly, you learn that feel. You learn what it looks like when you look over your left shoulder and you think, well, that doesn't seem right. But it is if you've done the steps. And we have to assume when we're teaching here, that my first time with alignment on YouTube, that you're a beginner. And if you've seen this before and you know this, it never hurts to have a refresher. We all need help. Um, and so I hope you can take and learn something from this. Um, at least have a good time with Bobby. And let's get right into this. So here's my alignment station. Grab a ball over here. I'm going to put this right across from this club. This is going to be our foot line. Or our stance line, I should say, our stance line. So I'm going to put this, what I like to do is put myself inch and a half back of this heel. Now, as you get into your longer clubs, it's really about the same. The driver, I might put the driver just a little bit more ahead here. Even up to here. Depends on the angle that you like to come up from and launch that ball. Do you have trees in front of you? Is it wide open? Can you turn it? Maybe have it back and maybe try to draw it. Whatever you like to do. But overall, I would have that ball a little more forward to make sure that with my driver I'm coming up and ascending. So, not the descending blow. So, we're going to start with that. Then, what I'm using is a 7-iron today. So my 7-iron, I don't put my feet over here like I'm hitting the driver, getting back and really whamming it, or my 3-wood or my 5-wood for that matter. I'm going to have fairly, not super close, but fairly close, because I want my work to be very close to me. I want that ball right there, never get too far away from it, contact it cleanly. So my first rod, golf club, is going to be aimed right where I want the ball to go, to my target. If it's a par 3, then of course you're aiming at the green. And then it depends on, if it's a sucker pin, meaning the pin's right over on the other side of a sand trap, you may want to aim it left. But this is your aiming rod. This is where you want the ball to go. Because I'm standing away from this ball, my feet have to be to the left of where I want that ball to go. Because I'm like this. I'm not like this. So this is going to, this like railroad tracks. Zoop, zoop. I'm sure if you've played very long, you've even heard that analogy. We all use it because it's a perfect analogy. So what a lot of people, make sure that your feet, knees, shoulder are basically lined up with the line you're going to put your feet on. If you try to put this, what a lot of people do, you'll see them up on the range and they'll be going, yeah, there's my feet, there's my knees, and they'll go like this, and instinctively they're pointing it to the target, which is over that target line. It's over the line. Because it's just natural. You think, oh, I want to go to the target. If you aim this at the target line and you start here, you're going to end up to the right of your target. You have to have your alignment on your foot line. So you'd be this, and you'll get the feeling when you do this with your clubs here and your hitting station, you'll get the feeling of what it is. You're there's my feet, there's my knees, there's my shoulder. I don't aim this at the target. If I aim this at the target, you're going to end up way right. If your shoulders are open like this, or closed, I should say. If your club is closed, open would be this way. If your club is closed, you could come too far inside, be moving that hand around and hook this, smother hook it. Or, depending on where your club face is aimed, you could push it massively right. So you just want to make sure these are all with your foot line, your alignment with your feet. Then you have a much better chance of hitting that ball straight. So I've got this maybe inch and a half just in back of my left heel. So it's going to be the same every single time so that you can get consistency. You can have a good feeling you are going to hit a good shot because it's repeatable over and over and over. You have one spot of contact where this club is going to hit every single time if you can keep your same position. So for me, I'm just going to come down here. I have my alignment. I like to flare out my feet, both feet. It doesn't matter how old you are, but this helps especially for seniors because if I'm here, I'm opening up this hip. It's less pressure on your hip. When you start going back and you're here and you try to restrict that, you're asking for a hip surgery later on down the line. And we all know there's a lot of injuries in golf because you do get a lot of pressure there. So it doesn't hurt to open these. And as you come through, this toe is flared open, so it's easier to get through. So I try to flare my feet open. It looks like my stance is wider, but actually it's not. So we just flare those out. Get comfortable with your stance. I like to put my hands a little ahead of the ball and keep my head still as I do the whole swing. Don't always accomplish that perfectly, but that's the goal. And I'm covering the ball. Some people would say, oh, you're doing the stack and tilt method, which isn't a bad method, but serious people don't like it. You've got all kinds of different methods from the A swing and the rotary swing, and they all work well. The people who teach them are excellent at it, and you could play great golf with almost any of them if you learn to do it. But some of them aren't quite as easy as others. And I think if you keep that ball covered, keep the weight on the inside of your right leg going towards the target, because if you're perfectly ready to hit a straight shot in the station and you sway, no, you want to stay covered over that ball and turn around. You don't want any swaying, because once you sway, say I'm perfect here. My wife would never say I'm perfect, but say you're perfect here. Once you sway back, you're going to hit in the back of that a lot. You're not going to recover perfectly. Is it possible? Yeah. But nobody's going to go like this. You're not going to put your weight on the right side coming back. Even if somebody did have a pretty good weight shift, you don't have to have that. What you want to do is make this as simple as possible. We want to make this as simple as possible so you can shoot your best scores possible, depending on practice and short game. We're working on all of that and your drive. But so you want to make this as simple as you can, have as much fun as you can, and play the best that you can. So I'm not going to sway back. I'm going to keep the weight going towards the target. You could even, if you've ever seen Lee Trevino hit a ball, a lot of people, Hogan, this leg is over here like this. Not the whole time. But if you start in a good position, you might just stay steady enough to hit a good ball in that position. So I'm going to have my hands ahead. Make sure my weight is more towards the target. Maybe I might even have 65. Some people would say 60-40. You might have 65 here. You just want to keep it going towards the target. So let's give that a shot. Hands ahead of the ball. First shot of the day. I swung a little fast. But that's okay. You know, when you're practicing, you're practicing. We're all human. So I'm going to do that a little smoother, a little less speed on this one. Let's try this again. Not bad. Let's try this again. Try to keep that head as steady as you can. You know, one thing that helps hit the ball straighter, more solid contact, is if you take a little longer to finish your backswing. And I have a tendency to rush it. We all have issues, and I have a tendency to try to hit it harder than I should. Especially with this time off we've had with the lockdown. Need more. Be out here practicing more. But so let's do that a little again. There you go. You can hear that. You can hear how much more solid it is. Some people put their hands even a little farther ahead. Let's do that. Same exact position. Always try to maintain that position. See if you've got this. You've got this, and you know that this is on your foot line, your stance line. If you know that, see what it looks like to you when you go like this. Say, oh, that looks like it's a little to the right. It is a little to the right because this is your ball flight line. This is your foot line. It's going to seem like it's farther right because it is a little farther right than your target, you know. And that's what's so odd, and people will bring it over here because they go, oh no, this is more towards the target. You're actually open because you're standing a couple feet away. Okay. So just try to see what that feels like. Does it seem open to you? Because it probably will, if it's correct. There we go. That's quite a bit better. Let's put this over here a little bit more. Let's take a look, because I'm not a great editor, so I don't splice. Let's go ahead and take a look at this down the line. And there we go. And I promise you I'll take a few lessons on editing so I don't have to keep doing that. Turn it off, start a new video. Learn how to insert one video with another one. I haven't learned how to do that yet. I know there's lots of apps you can use to do that. I'm not here to make excuses. It's just that's how it is. We all have a learning curve no matter what it is, you know. So here we go. So what it looks like down the line. Your two railroad tracks. And so if your shoulders aren't lined up with this rod, if it is over here towards the target, you can see from this angle you're going to be to the right. So you can't have your feet look good, your shoulder look good, and then go like this, because that'll put you so far right. So with feet, they can be flared out. Feet, knees, shoulders. When these things aren't here and you're at the golf course, I see a lot of amateurs, they don't have all this, and they will go, there's my feet, there's my knees, oh, there I'm going to the target, there's my shoulder. No. So that's why you want to get the feeling when you're doing this. If I have my shoulder line with my knees, with my feet, how does that feel now when I've got the club in my hand? Does it seem like I'm aimed left? Because it should. You're not aimed at the target. You are aimed a little left. Not way over here. We're not saying that. You just want to have it the same as your knees, your legs. I put your hands ahead of the ball. And boom. That's pretty good. It comes right off for me. like a ski jump. We'll do another one of those. There we go. And you know, giving lessons to individuals when they're right there in front of me is so nice because I can talk to people. I can find out what injuries they have. Maybe they've had a herniated disc. Maybe they have other back problems. Maybe they've injured their shoulder. Maybe they've injured their wrists. A lot of things stop people from doing what you might call fundamentally correct. It doesn't mean you can't play very good golf. You've got people like Calvin Peete on the senior tour. I think he passed away now, but I'm not positive that. I might have to check that. And he had injured his elbow, and so he could only go like this. I forget. I don't even remember which elbow it was. A long time ago, Calvin Peete. We're talking when I was younger. So, but he learned to play that way, and he used that. Won many tournaments. He was a really good golfer. So there's different ways to play this. So, like me, I've had 2 herniated discs, 4th and 5th lumbar, when I was younger again. So when I swing the club, it's not classic. Do I get back the ball? Can I hit the ball? Sure I can. I'm in pretty good shape now. But one thing I have a hard time with that most teachers will try to show you they would tell you to come here, drop the club, which is very difficult for me, and then come from the inside, square that up, and boom. That's not bad if you can do it. And you should practice it if it's at all possible if you can do it, because when you're coming from here and you lower this club, look at the face of that club. You go through, that's why all the pros try to do it as much as they can. You create so much power with this lag, and that's thinner than coming like this. The air gets drug like this. You can cut through it like this, come through. You have to have very good timing. But when I got hurt when I was very young and worked my way back, could finally walk a couple blocks. I had 2 herniated discs. Could walk a mile, 2 miles. I can now carry my clubs. I've won about 40 tournaments. Been very lucky in my life. And so you don't have to be classically traditional. But as much as you can get to that, taking people hundreds of years to develop the fundamentals of golf. When golf first started, there was no teachers. They learned on their own. They taught it to their kids. They taught it to their friends. What really worked, For a lot of years, we never had sand wedges. Well, and you'd use something that wasn't. But when they realized that the bounce on the club would stop the digging what you got in, come right under that ball, have a sand, lift that ball out. Well, that changed the game a lot. And so everything hasn't been steady all these years, So if let's just say somebody like Jim Furyk. Jim Furyk doesn't have a classic swing by any means. I don't have any idea how much money he's won, but it's in the millions. And he lives in Hawaii. He lives very well. And actually, his swing looks a little bit like the A swing now. But I would try to stay traditional as much as you can, because it's the most, I won't say it's even the most body friendly, but we know through all the technology, we have things that can tell you where the proper weight is when you come through it perfectly, like Tiger Woods, Dustin Johnson, Jon Rahm, all these people. So we know the fundamentals. That's why they're called fundamentals. It's fundamental to the game. I've gotten off track here, but I'm just trying to tell you, you don't have to be classically perfect to play this game very well. But if you can stick to it, to the fundamentals, it's not a bad thing. And that's what we're here to do. All I can do is try to give you the fundamentals because I don't know, you're not here for a private lesson. So this is how it's going to be fundamentally. So when I'm making my golf swing, you're not going to see me drop this club. Like it seems like I can do it here. It doesn't work for me coming down at all. So you might want to go to the range and just practice this. Drop this elbow so you're inside. Or even on your way back, just keep it to your side if you can. Let's try keeping it to our side. Okay, I kept it to my side, which just gives me, it gives my takeaway in one piece. It keeps me connected to my body. Because once I get away from my body, all kinds of bad things happen. It's because even people who drop it are usually somewhere near their body. They might come like this, up a little, but then they keep it down. Keep it down. I have a very hard time with that. But the closer you are to the fundamentals, because I'll try to keep my elbows tucked, one piece takeaway. Okay. I didn't quite get down the ball with that. I don't know if you noticed that one. That was kind of thin. And there you have it. You know, we're all human beings. If you really love golf, if you play it all, most people fall in love with this game, or it'll aggravate you to the point you just never want to play again. But hopefully that doesn't happen to you. Because this is a great game. You can play it till you die, practically. That's always fun. You get older, you might want to take one more club. You know, I'll be 71 in October. And so I'm actually pretty limber for my age. I just have a little hard time coming down like this and getting down for that, letting this elbow come down farther, or let the club head come down farther so that your plane is a little lower. So my actual ball flight can really almost look like I'm coming over the top. But usually I stay inside of the path line of the ball, which will allow me to hit it pretty well. So we'll try to keep this tucked. Keep your feet, your knees, your shoulders aligned with your foot line. Don't put your shoulder with your intended line. And there you go. I hope I've taught you something today. You just see me being me, trying to help you as much as possible. These are absolute fundamentals. We can all learn from it, and we should do that. Should see the feeling that you have when your feet, your knees, and hopefully your shoulders. And if they're correct, then as you turn your head without turning your torso, see where it looks like to you you're pointing. It should be a little left of your target. If it's not target or right at your target, that's a big no-no. You won't be consistent. You will not be happy. You'll be hitting out of more sand traps to the right, from the right side, and you could draw the ball. So if you like this content, if I'm entertaining at all, hopefully I am, and you can learn something, please hit that subscribe button. Leave any comment you wish to leave down below. I've got a pretty thick skin, so just come back and see me again, and I hope you enjoy this content. And thanks a lot for stopping and seeing Bobby Fitzgerald Golf. And always have fun, and never, ever, ever give up.